Hello and welcome back. You saw that fantastic video just giving you a snapshot of what happens over the week that the Africa International Film Festival comes to different parts of the world, and this year in Lagos, Nigeria. Well, today on the show we have one of the men who is taking one of the master classes during this week, indeed the lighting masterclass, in the person of Christian EPPS. He's come all the way from California in America. You're most welcome, Christian.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much for coming indeed. Now, it's great. Can I say, is this your first time in Nigeria?
No.
How often have you been to the country?
12 years I've been coming back and forth.
Wonderful.
3 or 4 times a year.
So,
Yeah.
so rather than say welcome to Nigeria, I'll say, oh,
Welcome back again.
Hello,
Welcome
brother.
back. Exactly.
Have you
Welcome
been
home
given
is
a
usually.
Have you
Yeah.
been given a Nigerian name yet?
Several.
Okay.
Tunde was the most recent.
You look like a Tunde.
I haven't settled yet.
Today sounds just
Wonderful.
fine.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. So I think we should start from yesterday. Yesterday was the opening
Yes.
ceremony. How was it?
Very nice. Beautiful people. Lots of talented, it's a great turnout, this festival.
Okay. And then now you're handling the lighting masterclass this week. When people hear lighting, when they think of a movie, the first thing they're thinking about is, okay, they're thinking of the actors, they're thinking of the producers, the directors.
Yes.
Oftentimes, it's only people who understand the intricacies of making a movie that understand the importance of light and sound. Why should people attend the lighting masterclass?
So the people who are in the industry, of course, who are interested in producing good quality content that will travel very far outside of Nigeria, the aesthetics are part of the splash, right? You say, that was great. Sometimes the general audience doesn't realize it, but all of the visuals are part of what make it so appealing and what connect you emotionally. It's sort of like silent music in a way.
Silent music.
Yeah,
Now they say
music kind of cuts through the emotional thing no matter what's going on and no matter what language, etc., right?
Yes.
The lighting is that in the visual world.
I'm glad you draw the relationship between light and sound, because they do say that light travels faster than sound, and usually if it's not appealing to look at, you wouldn't even wait to listen to what they have to say.
Because the young people in particular will take a remote and click, 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 and they decide in half a second based on how it looks.
Yeah. And I'm really excited you're here, because it's not just in films. We look at lighting in Nigeria, but even in TV productions,
concerts,
what we're doing today, concerts.
News, absolutely. Studios.
And even now for events, weddings. Have you been to any Nigerian wedding? You see the lights are very important with regards to the feel, the ambience, setting the right tone for the event. Now, what would you say you watch out for when watching a movie? Because one of the challenges, I must say, we have in our film industry is getting the lighting and sound correct, like Olive had mentioned. What do you think we're not quite getting right that we ought to be doing for Nigeria?
Well, we're starting to do it now. So if you watch a wide range of movies here, whether you call it Nollywood or just Nigerian cinema, there's a lot of history that does not include good quality images in terms of lighting, camera, those things. The technology wasn't here and the skill sets weren't here. But that's starting to change. There's a number of people at the top of the market here who are producing international quality work. So while a lot of people have the old version in our heads, and those are true and still are to some extent, but the new version is totally here now and is growing quickly. The younger generation is much more advanced technologically, visually, so that is changing. So lighting master classes are one part, cameras, things that AFRIFA is doing in the training, production, pre-planning, budgeting, all of these things are what show up on camera to make it look like a first-rate film.
So now when young people, what you're talking about lighting and how important it is, we're moving beyond TV. Now people are doing more online packages. They're having young people coming together with ideas, content that just film in the comfort of their bedroom and put online. Now you're mentioning the importance of lighting, and some people are thinking, I'd have to break the bank to do this. Now, how cost effective is it for you to be able to get standard lights that will make your production look good, glossy, that you don't have to break the bank to pay for?
You really don't. So some of the projects I've worked on, it'll be a big budget film in LA, but sometimes lights are clip lights, little garage lights you would use under a car hood, practical lamps that you use in your home, things like that. Because of the technology now, it's much more advanced, so you don't need big lights all the time. So with LED and low power needs, you can do a lot with more basic lighting. It's really now about the skill sets, which is part of why I'm here. So I started about 5 years ago an organization called Lights Camera Diaspora, And the goal is, after several years of working here and many years of working in the States, to help connect. You know, I'm not the only one, but to help make that connection, skill-wise, equipment, distribution opportunities, training opportunities. So yeah, so we're working on equipment, we're working on shows, we're working on master classes, things like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, if you're just tuning in the spirit of the beginning of the Africa International Film Festival that started yesterday with its opening ceremony, we are speaking with Christian EPPS from California about lighting in the film industry and perhaps a growing industry in Nigeria as well. Now, you've mentioned that you've been back and forth in Nigeria for 12 years, so I'm sure you could say you can tell the evolvement of the film industry in Nollywood. Now, they say Nollywood is the biggest, second biggest industry in the world after Bollywood with regards to the number of films that it churns out. How would you say the development of the film industry has been over the years compared to other industries around the world?
So as I imagine it, Nigeria is on a warp speed sort of progression, yeah? Because many industries move at a certain pace, but thanks to technology and quite honestly, thanks to the Nigerian hustle, which is completely real, you know, the go, go, go. So people talk about doing 3, 4, 5 movies a year. In most countries, a filmmaker doesn't do that many movies a year. So the market here, the population who's producing and shooting and acting and directing and doing lighting and sound and all, is doing many, many films. So it's like having a hyper-speed class or rehearsal or education process. So I think in like 5 or 10 years, people outside of the continent in particular, but outside of Nigeria, are going to look up and say, wow, where did all these people come from with all this experience? Because most people are used to, you know, 1 film, 2 films every 2 or 3 years at the most.
We do like 1 film a week.
Well, I don't know about a week.
I can tell you
finished
that.
production in 1 week.
Individuals. So you might work on a film this week, complete it, and work on a whole new film next week and complete it.
Yes.
Very true.
Okay, so now before we let you go, you are handling a masterclass, and that's because you've had a lot of experience. At this point, let's get into your history. What are the projects you've worked on? We've seen that you've worked with Snoop Dogg, you've worked with the who is who in the entertainment industry. So just shed some light. And which do you consider your most challenging?
So shed some light. So years ago, I started out, I spent about 10 years in New York with Spike Lee doing movies and TV and commercials and music videos. All through the 90s in New York, the music video scene was on fire. So I spent years with Hype Williams, who's a big music video director, especially visually. One of our well-known projects is a movie called Belly, which people still to this day call me about working on shows to help make it look like that. And then I did the Olympics in 1996 in Atlanta. I did a bunch of press positions for that. I've done stuff, tons of shows for BET over the years, comedy shows, concerts.
Fantastic.
A lot of different stuff. The most recent one that many people know is the movie Selma, which was Oprah Winfrey, who was in it, Ava DuVernay's movie. So
wait, did you come to Nigeria when they were doing the premiere?
I did not.
Oh.
I know.
I mean, a lot of people would definitely be able to identify with that because we had our very own premiere, like Olive mentioned, in Nigeria. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, if people wanted to attend your masterclass, what time would it be happening and when? Yes,
it's at Ultima Studios tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then again on Wednesday at Ultima as well, 10 to 4.
And they have to register?
They have to register through AFRIF.
Okay.
The website is afrif.com.
All right.
And then Ultima is also one of the partners who is making a great effort to provide training opportunities such as this, you know, for the industry to help move things forward.
And if people wanted to follow you personally on social media?
Personally, it's Christian EPPS. Well, the website for the organization is lightscameradiaspora.org. And then personally, it's Christian EPPS at Instagram, at Twitter, at Facebook, it's all there. YouTube.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from him, and he has brought a lot of light to some of the industry secrets here, particularly with what happens behind the scenes in film production. Thank you very much indeed, Christian EPPS, for being our guest this afternoon. Thank you indeed, and we hope you enjoy your 12th stay in Nigeria.
This is my many times. My 12th year.
And you've definitely eaten jollof.
For sure.
What else have you eaten? What else?
About 12 years. I eat all of it.
I mean, I can see amala, egusi written all over you, begiri, we do all of that.
So when you were introducing him, Christian EPPS, aka Tunde, the Ghana on us.
Christian Tunde Epps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to quick break, and when we come back, we have Namdi Ekuba. We've talked films. It's time for us to look at sports. See you soon.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.